Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Blue's Dreams. Hi, this is Blue, and I'm going to tell you about my dream last night. So, it was a rather interesting, good, but also sad dream. So, it all has to do with riding on a bicycle, particularly a mountain bike, through the woods. So, thing is, I've ridden mountain bikes before through the woods, and I've been on some mountain biking trails, but not so difficult ones. But in my dream, I was on a trail in the woods, which was rather narrow, really bumpy, with a ton of roots and rocks all over the place. Probably just wide enough for two wheels of a bike to go through. But the strange part of this dream was that not only was I the only one on the bike, there were four people on the bike with me. Right, this is not a scooter, it's not a motorcycle, it's just a regular mountain bike. So, in the dream, everybody fit rather comfortably on the bike. The bike was still lightweight. When I was pedaling, there wasn't much resistance due to the weight. Just four people on the bike. So, who was on this bike? Well, it was a random older guy who I wasn't really sure about. And the other two people I had talked to previously the day before. They weren't exactly the same people, but they kind of resembled them. So, one of them was this small Japanese girl who I was having a conversation with, who was kind of new to the area. So I was just talking with her, speaking a little bit in English and a little bit in Japanese, but just kind of just small talk and shooting the breeze. Seemed like a nice girl, and I guess for some reason she implanted herself in my head that night. And the other guy was a friend or acquaintance I had met who I was just giving a ride home that day. So, what happened was I was riding this bike through the woods, just kind of cruising with these people behind me, and we went over a few turns, beautiful scenery, nice day. But the thing is, I was going way too fast around a curve, and I didn't end up making the turn. So instead of making the turn and turning straight to the right, I just decided to go straight. Well, I didn't decide to go straight, I was going too fast, so I had no choice. So I just went straight instead of turning, and we went down this big hill and kind of just flew into the air. So even when you're doing this in like real life, you kind of get a slow mo type feeling when you're in the air. But when I was in the dream, it was way slower and way kind of like floating through the air when we all fell off. So the thing is, the girl I was talking to was very small. She seemed a little bit fragile. So in the back of my head, I was thinking, oh, I got to catch this girl. But this was already halfway down the fall. So what happened was I kind of did a 180 so that instead of falling forward, I was kind of falling backward, kind of facing the sky. And then everybody else was falling on top of me. So I had got the older guy in my arms. I was able to reach around to get the guy I was driving home that day in my arms, but I was just barely able to grab the small Japanese girl before she fell and hit the ground. So we all hit the ground pretty lightly, no injuries in my part. Felt kind of just flying and hitting a bed just like this. But the thing is, I wasn't able to completely cushion the fall for the girl, and she landed next to me, and I had my arm around her. However, her back was fine since I had grabbed around her shoulders, But what was troubling was that I had no idea where her legs had landed. So they had fallen not too far away, still attached. She was all together, but she had a twisted ankle, and it seemed that she had either strained it or broken it. So I was very regretful that I didn't put all my effort into trying to catch her, but instead I was catching the older guy and just like the new friend that I had driven home that night. So we were able to make her stand up, but she was limping, and I felt bad because I couldn't do more to help her. So even though she was hurt, we were able to walk out of the woods alright. So just kind of a fun ride turned into a little bit of a somber moment in the woods. Because I guess that's what happens when you have 4 people on a mountain bike on a bumpy trail going too fast. So the thing is, when I think back to why I had this dream about 4 people on the mountain bike, it goes back to when I was driving my new friend home. So the thing is, the first time I had, he asked to get a ride back to his place, and I didn't really know where his place was, so I was kind of navigating where to drive on my phone. So I was a little bit distracted driving, and I was driving in the night, and we had taken a turn off from the highway, and I had taken it a little too fast. So it was like one of the bends going off the highway, kind of almost a 180 in a turn, and we just, it was, took the turn fine, but it was just a little fast. No skidding of the tires, but I know he had to hold on to like the upper, like the part of the passenger side where they have the handles. So he was just holding onto that, so, and he kind of made a little bit of a noise. He didn't say anything to me about driving too fast, but he was kind of like, oh, and we went around the curb. So I guess that kind of stuck with me because I hadn't really driven that many people home in a while, and seemed stick in the back of my head that I really wasn't driving the best that night. So that's pretty much how my daily life kind of entered my dream. Bad driving, or not the best driving, kind of led to speedy biking on a rocky path and a heavy route path through the woods. And I don't know, it's just that I I love that feeling of kind of flying through the air in a dream and flying through the air during real life. But when there's 4 people above you in the air and you're not sure which people to catch, make sure you kind of reach out and grab the smallest, because they're probably the most fragile and they might be breaking something on the way down. Okay, so I guess that's it for my dream last night. I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to hear more dreams, make sure to like and subscribe to Blues Dreams, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye bye, and sweet dreams. Okay.